hot, hot, hot. Yes, my friends, this is not your regularly scheduled programming. This would be hot tea. After a weekend of overindulgence, AKA I had way too many spirits, too much alcohols, too many cocktails. My liver is pickled. I slept in my makeup. Actually, maybe I should say passed out. Anywho, giving my body a little break. So we are drinking hot tea tonight. The hot tea that I am drinking is, ooh, hello, Harney & Sons Paris. Hi guys, Chevy Rel here. Hello to all the new subscribers, if you're watching. I wonder if some people subscribe and then don't really watch. Maybe. Anyway, hi if you're new. I'm Chevy Rel. If you want to know more about me, there's a little eye up here. Click that. I have a little video. Tells you who I am. Let's get on to the stuff. What I'm wearing today is my Pavement Sweater by Vera Valimaki. The yarn is Yarn Cafe Creations. I believe it's Fluffy Sock in the Alaska colorway. I tried to look up my order on Etsy and for some reason I couldn't find it, but I kind of didn't look as hard as I probably should have. But I do believe that it is Alaska.
Damn, that's hot. Ow.
I'm also wearing my Vertizontal Slouchy by Laura Jones, and I have not one iota of a clue what the yarn is. I wear this hat a lot. FOs. This many. I was just going to do my haul video from YarnCon, and then I was going to do an episode later. My schedule's gonna be really wonky, and to be honest, I don't really know when I would be able to record again. If I have time to record, I might, maybe. It will come at some point in time, but the next video after this might be a tour of the stuff room. I know that some of you expressed some interest, and I do love my stuff. It is the namesake of my podcast, so yeah. Next we'll head on to the whips. Like, hello, I actually remembered to introduce them as whips. These are my, for all you new viewers, do you guys ever get annoyed when people say the same thing over and over and over again in the podcast? There's new viewers, so they might not know what it is. So even though you've heard it 15 times, the other people might not hear it 15 times. They might not even know what it is. So then I find myself repeating myself.
Allow myself to introduce myself. This is my wife, Oprah.
Does anybody watch Austin Powers? No. I'm full of random movie quotes. These are the modern mukluk slippers, which they look way better on a foot, obviously. They are in Harrisburg Designs Highland, which is their worsted in grass and charcoal. The pattern is by Vera. The sweater is by Vera Valimaki. The pattern is by Andrea Mowry, who we all know. She's the queen of faded everything, except these are not faded. These are color work, stranded knitting. One of those. Anyway, last time I showed you number 2. I had we done. I got a couple more repeats done on that. I know that's boring. My next whip is my Exceedingly Vanilla socks by Amanda Steck, who is also known as Andy, and she does the 10,000 Stitches podcast. I would say that you should go check out that Cal for her Exceedingly Vanilla socks. However, I just watched her latest episode today, and it's over on the 15th, so I'm going to be a big fat fail because I did get this. Let me see. Last time you guys saw this, I was there. I did finish the toe, so I have one sock done. This is Open Skies yarn in the Summer Skies at Night colorway. And I believe this is a one of a kind. I don't know if she can recreate it or not, but I am in love with it. I also have wee little cuffs started. I have just a plain pair of my vanilla socks in the Snowflake. I got that far since the last episode. This is Poste yarn in the Snowflake, Arizona, or some other state, not totally sure, colorway. I am loving this colorway. I'm knitting on some cool stuff right now, yo. Any other time I'd say that it's a 50-50 chance that there's booze in this. There's not. My last whip. While I say it's my last whip, I of course have other things on the needles. Y'all have seen some things like my brainless socks that are sitting like right there and I haven't touched in weeks. And it's because I'm loving other things. So I'll get back to them, I promise. Check out this bag, you guys. Look at that. It's mushrooms. I love mushrooms, like all kinds of mushrooms. I love them. They're so good. This bag is by Bird Leg Bags, and her label on the inside says birdlegbags.com. Of course, I'll link her. And it is housing my flamingo. I've gotten this far. This has been getting tons of love. God, it is so much fun to knit. It is so much fun to knit. Okay. It's brioche, and of course on the other side it's the opposite. Super squishy, addictive. It's all I want to knit on, hence nothing else really getting much love. I know that it doesn't look like very much. It would have been probably twice this. Let me just tell you, I knit on this the entire way to Chicago and the entire way home. The entire way to Chicago, I got, you can't really see it. There we go. This row right here. That row right there. That was dumb. Oh, I'll just come back here. How's that? I'm adorned in yarn. This I will knit until there are 11 triangles, I think, 11. And then it'll pick up on either side. I guess I could tell you what this is. I do that all the time, you guys. I just want you to guess, that's why. Read my mind. Bust out your crystal ball. Flamingo by Sous or Suzanne Sommer. Last episode I said Sommers. I actually said Suzanne Sommers, not Suzanne Summers, like the Thigh Master chick or the Three's Company chick, or however y'all know Suzanne Summers. It's actually Suzanne Sommer, no S. Some call her Sous. This is the flamingo shawl. I believe this will work up to this next section, or the end section is going to be 11 triangles. So you get to 11 triangles, so it'll be like that big. And then you pick up on the sides, and I'm doing 2 colors, obviously, but I will tell you, the entire way to Chicago, I knit these triangles. The entire way home from Chicago, I ripped out and reknit these triangles. I miscounted, and I was off, like, I didn't increase on one of the legs of one of the triangles, so the whole thing was off. Ripped it all the way, and I didn't notice until I was like well into this section. So I had to rip all the way back. Then I got up to this section and did the same stupid thing. So now I am hyper aware. Olive has a hairball, I think. So now I am hyper aware on my increases and decreases to make sure that I did them. I'm sick of ripping this out. It is a very fun knit though, so I'm not as mad as maybe some other people would be, or I have been in the past with other knits, only because this is really a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. The yarn I'm using for this neon green color is Bad Amy Knits, her single ply in the jungle colorway. And the blue, which I guess I can show you this way. This might be a little better. The blue is Malabrigo Mechita, something. I don't know. Whatever that is, they're single in the Storm colorway. That's why I just decided to do the episode, because I'm 17 minutes in, and after I cut out all the stupid shit that I've said, it'll probably be like 12. So that's all my knitting. Now the rest of the show is enabling. So if y'all aren't really into that, I'm bye. No, I'm kidding. I love to be enabled. I know some people do not like to be enabled. That's okay though if you don't want to be enabled. I'll see you next time. Mwah! I've gained a co-host. On to the enabling. I know I said that most of this was going to be a YarnCon. A YarnCon. I know that I said most of my enabling was going to be... Sorry, I'm so random. You know how some people say that they would go crazy in a padded room by themselves? I feel like, yes, I would eventually go crazy in a padded room by myself, but there would be a long time that I would probably be able to entertain myself. I do have a couple things, not YarnCon. This is my first one. Isn't he cute? He is a little owl that my mother-in-law brought me when she came to visit. And of course I have little balls of yarn, because every container I see, I'm like, what can I put in there? Little balls of yarn, of course. My next enabling is, if y'all remember from the last time, I said while I was at Black Swamp, I was also trying to catch an update, and that update came in. One of my followers on Instagram let me know about this update because she knows that I love, sorry, the lighting. Crap. The clouds came in and the lighting got bad.
Sorry. Man, the lighting got really bad. Fuck! Dude, that sucks.
Stay tuned. I'm going to try to fix the lighting. Back to enabling. One of my Instagram followers let me know about this update, and she knows that I love Jareth, and she knows that I love the Labyrinth, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to stalk it, and I got it, and here it is. You guys, look. Isn't it awesome? This bag is by the Fawn and the Fox, and look at their cute little label. And it says the Fawn and the Fox. I actually have both pairs of my socks in here, and they actually showed it on their Instagram. If you don't follow them, go do it. It looks pretty cool. They had it folded down like that. So yeah, I love it. Now we are on to YarnCon. All of y'all who follow me on Instagram have already seen this, but now you can see it better, I guess. Beautiful Syster, and I should have asked her how you say it. It's Syster. I guess Syster would be S-E-E, so I don't know if you still say sister and it's just S-Y. I don't know, but that's what it is. It's S-Y. This bag, she said on her Instagram to come by and they would show you how to use it. So it can hang over your arm and you can knit. You can tuck this in. I mean, you can have your stuff in there and tuck it in and tie it. And then perhaps the coolest and hardest for me, for some reason, I don't get it. It takes me a minute. There's actually two other ways, and I can't remember the last way she showed me. There's a bunch of different things you can do with it. Of course, you can tuck these flaps on the inside, right? Like that. Give me a minute. Might have to do some sort of time-lapse thing here. Cue the Jeopardy music. Got it. Okay. You fold the top down like so, and it's a bucket. Now, of course, this would be way better if I actually had stuff in it, but it sets up awesome, and I will be using it, I think, as a bucket a lot. It's my favorite way, I do believe. Then I went to a booth that actually two friends shared, Vanessa and Kim. Vanessa is V Yarn, and I got these two awesome squishy soft skeins. This one Clint actually bought. This has a purpose that I can't say right now. This is her worsted weight in the Rogue Squadron colorway. And then this one I got just because it spoke to me, which you guys, I stared at the wall for 5 minutes because I couldn't pick between like all the colors. This is her fingering weight. It's upside down. The colorway is Gem, like Gem in the holograms.
Showtime synergy.
Does that show my age? Like, I'm old. Okay, so that was Vanessa. Then Kim, who is chasing Acorns, she did recognize me and say hello, which made me feel like my heart really like big and fat and happy. She did these awesome acrylic coasters. She also had some necklaces and things. She was so sweet and wouldn't let me pay for this, and I couldn't let her do that. Like I had to buy something. So then I bought this mug. She dips in this like cool color, and it's huge and awesome. And the other cool thing, I'll look at her. You're pushing me over, dude.
Sit right there.
There. The other cool thing about this mug is that a portion of it, of the purchase, she's donating to the animal shelter where they got their dogs. So she had me, you know, obviously as an animal lover, as soon as I saw that money was going to help fur babies, I was, you know, all about it. They were a whole lot of fun. They are from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and their Ann Arbor has a couple of different fiber festivals, and they've been on my list for years, and I've just never made it there. So hopefully this year. They have one in October, I think they said. I need to do a little more research, but I want to add it to my list. Of course, you know I had to hit up Jelby. I got me some of my stitch markers. Oh man. But you can't really see. This is Teal We Meet Again, and they're black with little turquoise gems on them. Like I said, they're my favorite. And then I got a little tin. I know I have one, but this is for my friend Diana. Diana, this one's yours. I got you purple. It's her favorite color. And little sheepies. Olive, why do you keep leaning up against me? She's like leaning, she's pushing me off the foof. Olive, why are you pushing me off the foof? This is Honey Girl Farms. If you guys ever have a chance to check her out, her colorways are amazing. Her friend is an artist named Emily Martian, and she had these little notions bags and totes and some bigger bags. You guys. I loved them. It was so hard to pick. This I got for Mama Jean for her birthday, which she won't watch this by the time she gets this. I'm going to give it to her tomorrow. I love it. It makes me laugh every single time I look at it. So Emily Martian's Instagram is stupid girl, but stupid STOO. Oh, I love her artwork. It is all super funny and my sense of humor. there were like 15 different ones that I wanted to buy, and I couldn't buy them all, man. Excuse me, Olive. You're not faced to the camera. They can't see you like, well, you can see your fat rolls, I guess. Anyway, these bags. Okay, so this was the smallest, and then this one, and then there was a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a tote. My next purchase isn't, these are not in any sort of order, just so you know. But this I got from Bunny Badger Fibers. Their booth was so cool. It was lit cool. They were upstairs and they had all these little bins of buttons, and then they had these little baggies, and the buttons were just like so much a piece, and it was super fun to like dig through all the little things. But I got a tapestry needle just because I needed one. I also gonna drop shit. I also got little crochets for little crochet hooks for dropped stitches. I used to carry a crochet hook in my notions pouch, and then for some reason it got out of my notions pouch, and I've only needed it about 952 times and thought to myself, I need to put one back in. And then I saw these and thought, boom, done, perfect. Then I got these little buttons. I got this guy, which is a little yarn skein with some knitting needles. I got this guy, and I got that guy. There was a booth before you go in. She had a display, Critical Sheep. There's her, isn't her logo fun for all you gamers? This colorway is called Warrior, and it is specifically made for Operation Chemo Comfort. I believe 30% of the proceeds of this yarn went to Operation Chemo Comfort. Their goal is to help people physically and psychologically who have been affected by cancer. They sew headscarves and hats and put together kits for them. They do a bunch of great things. This yarn is squishy and wonderful. I can't wait to knit with it. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but it does like really effing suck. My sister's mom, we share a dad, passed away last Friday, which YarnCon was on Saturday, of cancer. She had a long fight. It was not fun. Not that cancer is ever fun, but it was a tough journey home. And this just kind of hit the spot at the right time for me and our family. I am going to knit my sister a monster out of this in memory of Mama Lynn, which I'm also going to sew one of those skull buttons on the butt of it for her because my sister's into skulls. She rides a Harley and she's gonna love it. That's what this is eventually going to be, and you guys will see that. Hummingbird Moon, you knew that I wanted to make a purchase from her. She's the one that came from Boulder, Colorado. There is her artwork. She gave you a postcard, which you can't see, gave you a postcard with all of her contact information on it. Ooh, this has a coupon code on it for 10% off my next order. I'm just now seeing that. So from her, I got this lovely specimen of wonderfulness. Look at that. Yeah. Is that awesome or what? This fiber is, you guys, tell me that this is not one of the coolest names, colorway names ever. This is Unicorn Tears. What? And it is 100% superwash Tarhi. Or Targi. Tarhi or Targi? You tell me, what is it? I've heard it pronounced both ways. Now, you know, or some of you, unless you're a new viewer, unless you're a new viewer, Some of you, unless you're a new viewer, will have seen my Turkish spindle that I purchased at Black Swamp a couple weeks ago. In my head, I was going to spin this on this, but now I think I've changed my mind. I think I want this, the more I'm looking at it, to be a bulkier spin than what I think I would spin on this. So there's gonna be something else on this guy. Okay, my last enabling from YarnCon is from Bur Oaks. Is that right? No, of course that's not right. I mean, would one of my episodes be complete if I didn't misspeak someone's name? Misspeak, is that a word? If I didn't F up somebody's name, how's that? Okay, this is from Bur Oak Studio. She is actually in my neck of the woods. She lives in Indiana. She sells a lot of her stuff at Mass Ave Knits, which was on the yarn crawl from one of my previous videos. You can also get a hold of her on Instagram as well. This is a bracelet, and I don't know how well you can see, but she does all of this with recycled aluminum knitting needles. She had some cool stuff. She has some that she smashed, the old aluminum needles that she hammers flat and turns into bracelets. I have some old ones, and I think I might have Dan try and hit them with a hammer and see what happens. I think I could make one of those, which I don't know, it might shatter. There's probably some like awesome secret to smashing them that you need to know that I don't know, but I definitely could not do this. I mean, those are a whole bunch of different colors. I love how that's like the tip of one. I mean, that's super thin. Yeah, this is super awesome. That's my haul, you guys. Did you have a blast there? Did you have great hauls? I've stalked all the hashtags because I wanted to see what everybody's haul was from YarnCon. I will insert a couple pictures. We did take some selfies. Of course, Dan and Clint went with me, and they are such good sports and just, they don't rush me. They just let me sit back and do my thing. When I'm ready to go, they're like, okay. I will say there was a fiber dyer there, yarn dyer, indie dyer there by the name of BlackCatFibers. I think it's BlackCatFibers, Black Cat something. Their booth was huge. They were right across from Leading Men. They had a DK weight yarn that I absolutely fell in love with. I'm still thinking about it. Part of me is maybe a little upset that I didn't buy it, but my wallet is definitely not upset that I didn't buy it. The colorway was Quarry, and it was this awesome gray tonal with like little rust specks in it. I wanted it for, is it the So-So or Sous? It's S-O-U-S. You've probably all seen it. I'll insert a picture. It would have been perfect for that, but for my size, I think I would have needed 7 skeins. And actually, I think I would have needed a hair over 6 skeins, and it would have turned into almost a $200 sweater. And I just had already spent a gazillion dollars, and, you know, I went to Black Swamp, and I just couldn't. It wasn't in the budget. It wasn't in the cards. However, it is one of those things that I continue to think about. So maybe someday I will own that. I don't know. Talking about needing money for fiber, to wrap things up, this is going to be my viewer question. I was watching Relatively Crafty with Christy. I really love her podcast. I learn a lot from her. She's very knowledgeable on things. And her last episode, or at least the last episode that I have watched, I'm way behind in podcasts. My queue, I have like over 100 videos in my queue. It's really bad. But the last episode of hers that I watched, she was talking about destashing. And she was actually talking about picking up destashes and how sometimes you can get good prices and sometimes you have money, but it's more than you want to pay, or sometimes it's a really good price, but you don't have any money to buy it, and how she checks certain groups on Ravelry as far as them posting destashes. I have thought about it many times. I do have quite a few skeins of yarn that are great skeins of yarn I'm just not in love with anymore, or I purchased a very long time ago and my what's it called?
What's the word? What's the word, Olive? I can't think of it. I keep wanting to say opinions, and that's not right.
My style, good grief, why did that take so long? My style has just changed and I might not be as in love with those colorways anymore. I've said before, I never update my project pages. I do not have my stash on Ravelry. However, there is, ooh, don't fall off the foof. I have had the daydream of putting my stash on Ravelry, and maybe someday that will happen. Maybe this weekend I could potentially put my stash on Ravelry. It just seems like such a huge undertaking that in my head it sounds like a good idea and I never really make it there. If I put my stash on Ravelry, then I could mark stuff for destash and buy that yarn from Black Cat that I really, really want. I keep thinking about it. Do you guys ever do that? Do you see something, you're like, no, and then you think about it and think about it and think about it afterwards and you're mad at yourself for not buying it? That's kind of where I'm at with this situation. It would have been easier for me to spend that money if the pattern was a pattern that I thought I would wear daily, like a cardigan that I would just throw on over my t-shirt multiple days a week. Whereas the Sous or So or Sui or however you say that pattern is not a sweater that I see myself wearing daily. So I don't know. Dang it. Decisions are the worst. Anyway, my viewer question is, do you guys destash? And if you do, is there an easy way that you find to do it? Do you post on the boards? Like, tell me I'm interested in your destashing histories. There we go. And keep in mind that you're telling somebody who doesn't even have their stash on Ravelry. On that note, I hope you guys have an awesome world until we meet again. I never know how to say goodbye. You guys, bye. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that happy horse shit, and we'll catch you on the flip side.